guys, welcome to the program. My name is Joker with all the news you didn't know you needed to know. Silicon Valley collapse, Elon, Tesla, Twitter fleeing California, along with several other billionaires from the tech industry. This is as of 4 hours ago on Twitter. Gavin Newsom passed a new law. Apparently, Elon had a conversation with Gavin Newsom and said, if you pass these kind of laws, myself and many others are going to leave California. Gavin Newsom said, screw it. He passed the laws, and out they go. It's not regulation laws. It's not tax laws. It has to do with the rights of parents parenting their kids. We'll jump into it. Got a lot to go through. Lots of little snippets of stuff. But this is as of, about 4 hours ago. Yep. Elon Musk says this is the final straw. Because of this law and the many others that preceded it, attacking both families and companies, SpaceX will now move its headquarters from Hawthorne, California to Starbase, Texas. And this was in response to another tweet, and I will read that other tweet. He then added an addendum. He said, an X headquarters, which is former Twitter, X headquarters will move to Austin, Texas. So what is the tweet he was replying to? This is coming from a gentleman named Jason, just at Jason. So he's been around for a while. He has almost 1 million followers. He says, host of the world's most important conversations, Twist startups, the All-In Pod, liquidity pool. I also invest in 150 startups a year at launch and at founder uni. So he's obviously a very key player out in Silicon Valley. Now, some of the replies to him, Elon says, I did make it clear to Governor Newsom about a year ago that laws of this nature would force families and companies to leave California to protect their kids. Lots of replies here, lots of people cheering him on and saying, great job. So there's more people bailing out. Let me go through the rest of the Twitter reactions, and then we'll read the stories. So anyway, the Jason said, I'm done with California. Will disclose my plans on all this week. The other reply, this is from a Doug Leone. I found this tweet based on Elon. Elon shared this tweet. It has 25,000 likes on it. He says, I've become increasingly concerned about the general direction of our country, the state of our broken immigration system, the ballooning deficit, and the foreign policy missteps, among other issues. Therefore, I am supporting former President Trump in this coming election. Now, Doug Leone is with Sequoia Capital. He's a partner of Sequoia Capital. So he doesn't have a lot of followers. He's not extremely public figure, but he is somebody that controls banking and other things out in Silicon Valley. So what's going on? Well, Governor Gavin Newsom signs first in nation bill banning schools transitioning policies regarding kids. It'll stop school districts from notifying parents if their kid starts using different pronouns or identifies as the different gender than what's on their school record. So you send little Johnny off to school. The teachers convince him that really he's Janie. Not only can they keep the parents from knowing about the name change while Johnny's in school, but they can also start sending him to medical programs that will give him, how can I say this to make sure I stay viewer friendly, guideline friendly? It'll take little Johnny and they'll give him chemicals that will start putting everything on pause and even may start turning him into a Janie, right? So they take all that control out of the parent's decision. These are school teachers, not medical professionals, not psychologists, school teachers, and the school administrations deciding that they're going to take what's right about the kids and make those decisions for them. He says it'll make California the first U.S. state to stop school districts from notifying parents about this stuff. The governor's office announced his signing of AB 1955 without comment, along dozens of other bills signed and two he vetoed. The LGHD TV caucus chair, Susan Eggman, said Monday, "Today is a great day for California." They go on to, I'm not even going to read the rest of this. They basically go on and say, this is a great thing. That taking this decision out of the decision of families and parents and moving it into, Becky, the school teacher with the rainbow-colored hair, that's fine. There's no big deal with that. Well, this is from the Daily Caller. SpaceX's headquarters are the latest of many companies to flee California due to its policies. A growing number of companies have moved their headquarters out of California since 2018, with more than 265 headquarters fleeing the state with an average of 6.3 departures per month between 2018 and 2021, according to the Santa Clara Business Law Chronicle. The state witnessed a stark drop in initial public offerings, or IPOs, in 2022 as companies continued to leave the state, with about 44% of those departing companies moving to Texas, including Musk's Tesla Incorporated. Major corporations and retail stores, including AT&T, Whole Foods, and Banana Republic, have all shut down stores in San Francisco due to the rampant crime rates that hit the city in 2023. The California law is in contrast to the parental rights in education law passed by Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in April 2022, which bans discussion about these things in school up through third grade. The legislation also requires teachers and school administrators to notify a child's parents or guardians regarding any change to their physical, mental, or emotional health, with the exception of potential instances of household things that the parents are doing to the kids. Here's a video I have. This is from Los Angeles. This is going to tell you how bad things are getting. This is just a small snippet of the multitude of problems that they're having in California. This is a storefront owner complaining about no streetlights being on, not because someone's breaking the bulbs, but because criminals are now stealing copper wire from the lighting systems in Los Angeles.
When the streets go dark in this Pico Union neighborhood, they go really dark.
I guess they're stealing the copper, and it has just taken all the light from the street, so making it a little more dangerous.
7 months ago, copper thieves yanked wires from sidewalk electrical boxes. The street lights no longer work. Mark Burgos, who owns a local restaurant, says the darkness is giving criminals a cover. His business targeted by thieves.
As a matter of fact, a month ago, I had a smash and grab for the same reason, just so dark that people are just able to do crimes.
Looking for quick cash, the copper thieves sell the stolen copper to scrap metal recyclers. So at night along 17th and 18th Street, Bonnie Bray and Hoover Avenue, the lights are noticeably dark. People here are fearful and frustrated.
I called the Water and Power at least 4 times and the council's office at least 4 times also. Yeah, they told us 3 months. 3 months have passed.
So 3 months have passed. They haven't come out and fixed them. And also there's a very famous bridge. I forget the name of it. I talked about it in another video I did a while back, where they've stolen all the copper for the bridge. And it's going to cost tens of millions of dollars to refix the bridge and secure all the copper that's used in the lighting for the bridge. You can't fix society. You can't impose new laws on society and leave the moral or morality issues still present, because then you'll have a bunch of immoral thieves and criminals that have to be held in check by a police state. The only way you correct this is by having proper morals, good values, things that are taught by families and by loved ones. However, when you start taking control of the families and their kids away from, or the control of kids and the parents' kids away from the parents, well, those people that actually care about their kids and care about their well-being will leave. And so it's almost as if they're ramping things up to have a lawless, criminal-based society. But it's not just California. Here, a video, and this is by a woman that is 2 blocks away from a very famous tourist destination. She's in Seattle. Now, you might ask yourself, what's similar between Los Angeles and California and Oregon and Washington State? They're all overwhelmingly left-leaning with socialist policies and big government. They don't want decisions and the well-being of the people left to the police, the communities, and people that actually live in them. They're trying to change these policies on high, but you know darn well that no one from the city commissioners or the government lives anywhere close to these areas, and that's why they can fall in disrepair, and no one does anything about it until it's too late. Because with all these companies leaving and all these businesses leaving and these well-to-do people such as Elon Musk leaving, Elon Musk had to pay $6 billion in taxes. I believe he said it was last year for shares of things that he had sold. Well, California has a 10% interest tax rate. So I'm sure probably $500 million to $1 billion of his own taxes went to California. That is leaving as well, with Musk fleeing, along with all the taxes, along with all the revenue that Tesla brought, as well as Twitter and everything else. So eventually you get into a position where there's fewer and fewer taxpayers, and so to afford all these giveaways so you don't go bankrupt and you have all these social programs, you have to ramp up the amount you're taxing the people there, which causes more people to leave, which causes you to have to raise taxes, or all the social programs go away and everything collapses. And that's currently what's happening, not just in California, but on the entire West Coast. Let's listen to another clip from a lady in Seattle.
One of the most beautiful cities in America, Seattle, Washington. This is it, you guys. Steak and Shack all around. Every corner you go on, every street you go on, this is what it looks like. Nothing is here because we have a huge epidemic of drugs going on here, homelessness. These people, it is horrific, it is terrifying, it is horrifically sad. This is what is going on in big cities all around America. You haven't heard much of Seattle. We're 2 blocks up from Pike's Place, one of the biggest tourist attractions in America, and this is what it looks like. If you come to Seattle, you have to walk through these streets, walk right in front, all of these people, and if you want to go anywhere to eat, well, everything is closed. Every corner, every shop is gone. There used to be a Qdoba, a steak shop, a Potbelly's, a TJ Maxx right above us. It's no longer here. This is what is going on in big cities in America, and our government leaders are worried about stupid things like plastic straws, making sure we're competent enough to run as government leaders. This is what is going on. We have a huge problem here in America. Stop sending all that money to different countries. Invest in America. If I was the government...
Not only is it happening, and as she says, in the West Coast, but it's happening in a lot of the larger cities. These are people that are out of touch with what people in these communities actually want. And it's doing a horrible disservice to them. And she mentioned something I had even forgotten to mention, the tourism. I've been to Los Angeles, but it was back in 1992 or 1993. Yes, there were some areas you needed to avoid, but overall it was a pretty fun and interesting experience. At that same trip, I also went to San Francisco, and I went up and down the West Coast, so I got to see a lot of these cities, like Seattle, like Portland, and these others. But with all of this happening now, I have zero incentive to go back, even to visit. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tourist money that's lost as well as people look for safer, cleaner, and more hospitable environments to go on vacation. Lastly, I'll leave it with this. I'm not going to go too deeply into it. Because it's a little bit more on the political side, where really I'm more focused on this one on the financial side. But this is from Yahoo News. Musk leads Silicon Valley rally behind Trump. Elon Musk's decision to throw his vast fortune behind Donald Trump's presidential candidacy, and this is the interesting part here, confirms the rise of a growing right-wing bloc in the traditional liberal Silicon Valley. U.S. media reports indicate that Musk and a group of tech investors are contributing to a super PAC specifically designed fund that can spend unlimited amounts on political candidates and causes. Wall Street Journal reported that Musk plans to donate $45 million monthly to America PAC, or America PAC, a fund focused on electing Trump starting in July. Now, when this was posted as a news story on Twitter, on X, Elon Musk seemed to have I don't remember the exact post, but he seemed to make it seem like this is fake news, because he actually said fake GNUS, fake GNUs. So I don't think he's actually donating that much money to an America PAC. Although what is happening is there's a lot of Silicon Valley investors, a lot of people like Musk himself, that are realizing that the policies that the Democrats are putting forward are, number one, expensive, detrimental to the economy, and are going to not only bankrupt us, but also be a huge fee when it comes to people's and businesses both, and how many taxes are going to get charged. Because when you keep spending more, you eventually go bankrupt and or you run out of money and need to tax people more. These businesses and these business CEOs and companies are realizing that maybe supporting the Democrats aren't so great for business, and now they're fleeing. There is an alignment, and I'll leave it with this. There is an alignment in corporate America to where they're realizing that the companies and the policies and everything that they've been supporting over the last couple of years isn't doing so well. Recently, a company called Tractor Supply came out, and they were an investigation into them by undercover people, basically, showed that they were sharing DEI and some of this other material in trainings to the employees. And a lot of people, myself included, started sharing this information so people knew, hey, maybe we want to boycott this company because their values don't align with ours. Tractor Company quickly lost money on the stock market, and they quickly changed their tune, saying, we hear you, we're going to stay out of politics, we're going to stay out of these controversial societal issues when we're backing away. John Deere, same kind of thing. They had training material that got leaked showing they were doing the same thing. And just today, John Deere announced they're doing a backpedal on this, and they say we're going to revise our corporate guidelines on focusing on company things instead of societal things. They say right here, based on ongoing conversations, we've committed to the following. We will no longer participate in or support external social or cultural awareness parades, festivities, or events, and they're going to be changing their workforce policies, basically. Same thing here. Tenacious D, which is a band, Kyle Grass, Tenacious D, Kyle Grass, as well as, I forget the other, Jack Black. They've canceled their tour. They were dropped by their talent agency, and the insurance company that was insuring them is no longer going to insure their tour, their music tour that they were going on, because one of their members, the Kyle Gass, it was his birthday, and when presented with a cake on stage and it said "Make a Wish," he said that the event that happened a few days ago with Donald Trump, he said that he wished the guy didn't miss. And because that is very incendiary, now his talent agency, as well as the rest of the tour and their insurance companies on the venues, have backed out. So things are changing a little bit to where, and I've said this multiple times, you can only lie to people so many times before the truth will come out. And what's happening now is people have tried to go along with some of this craziness, and the truth, both financially, culturally, societally, is coming out. And people are now making changes, and they're voting differently, they're spending their money differently, they're keeping their companies in different states, they're relocating, they're making their preferences known. And unless we get back to some sanity by various members in our government or in corporations or whatever, you're going to see a bigger bifurcation in society. And a lot of these companies that are not getting the message that people are not on board with this, they're going to fail. And they're going to fail bigly. Guys, if you like my work over here, please become a supporter today over at betterbachelor.locals.com. You can make a small one-time donation if you'd like, or you can become a regular supporter for $5 a month or $50 for a year. And that supports my work, independent, keeps me doing the work that I love, and I don't have to be to the whims of social media and Big Mama YouTube to earn a living, and I get to keep doing what I do. So I'd appreciate it if you became a supporter today. I'll leave it there, and we will see you in the next one.